Hi. Obviously, I've never done this before. I couldn't tell what was happening, but we are live now. And I think I am a little bit early. So, the beginning of this video, if you're watching this later, you may want to fast forward a few minutes and wait until we get started. But otherwise, I know there are a few people who are planning on joining live today. So, I am going to wait until the time I told people I was starting to begin. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and get started. And first, I'm going to put a link in the chat for everybody. So if you want to follow along and fill out this worksheet while we're going through this, you can totally do that and do it with us live. Or you can save this and use it later on. You could use this every month. I will be doing this monthly at the beginning of the month, at least until the end of the year. And I am excited to have everybody here today. So, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for taking the time to plan ahead and set yourself up for success. To begin, the first thing we want to do, if you want to open that worksheet, you're welcome to. But whether you're using the worksheet or not, I want you to know before we get started that like writing any of this down by hand is going to be super helpful and beneficial for you. It will help you remember what you thought about more and help like the things that you decide stick in your brain. You are more likely to take action and follow through on your goals when you write them down. When you physically write stuff down by hand, that uses 17 different parts of your brain together all at once, which really makes it a lot more real, a lot more salient. It sticks with us better when we write it down. So if you want to print this out, great. If you want to write this on scratch paper, totally okay. Just make sure you know where you wrote your goals down. Keep them somewhere you can see them for extra bonus points because that also helps you follow through. So, first, we want to write down any wins that you got last month. Last month was May. So, any May wins that you got for yourself, find at least 1 to 3 wins. They can be a mix of business and personal wins if you want, but we want at least one business win on the list if you've got a business. And then feel free to include a couple more wins. But we want you focusing on your wins and celebrating the wins because this makes it much easier to keep going and boosts our motivation in the long run. So that is why this is worth your time. And I love that everybody's saying hi to each other in the chat. That's awesome. Thanks again for making time to join us while this is happening, while we're live. I appreciate everybody being here and taking the time to do this later as well. So, before we go through the rest of the worksheet, as long as you've figured out some wins for yourself, we want to go check in on our finances really quick next. So, I didn't think about this enough ahead of time on YouTube. I can't play music, but you may want to put up or pull up a playlist that you like so that you can put on a little bit of music while we're doing this. But we're going to have you pull up all of your business accounts, your bank accounts, credit cards, anywhere that you have cash flow happening for your business. We want to pull up those accounts and go look through them. So we're going to take the first 10 to 15 minutes to spend some time checking in our accounts. If you don't have a business and you're here just doing this for your personal life, that's great. Totally okay. This would also be worth doing for you. But we're just going to go pull up the accounts and make sure that all of the expenses look right. Make sure that we have the money that we need for the upcoming month for June. And make sure that we're planning based on our current cash flow. So, we can use this financial information later on this call when we're making our goals. But for now, we just want you pulling up all of the finances and taking some time to go through your expenses. So I am going to keep track of time. Go ahead and start any music or playlists that you have that you want to listen to while you do this. And I will be here. If you've got any questions about what you're looking for or anything that you're not sure about, you're welcome to throw that in the chat if you're here live too. And again, we're just checking out our accounts, looking at our expenses, making sure everything makes sense. If there are any subscriptions that you find that surprise you or something that you're paying for that you didn't realize your business was paying for, now is also a great time to go cancel that subscription or get on a phone call and make sure that you are not losing money on that again in the future. And if you have a business while you have your accounts open, you might want to check on your total income numbers or revenue numbers from last month, May, and add that up so that you have a total number for the month last month. We're going to spend a few more minutes on making sure that we understand everything going on with our finances. And if you need more time, you can always pause this if you're watching this later on, or just turn me down. This is also something you can go back to at the end of this if you want to spend more time on your finances. You're welcome to come back to this part later on. But we definitely want to make sure you understand how much money that you're working with for the month of June and how much income you made for the month of May before you finish up your finances. Okay. So, wrapping up the finances for yourself or pausing this video if that's better for you. We are going to pull up the worksheet that's available on Canva. You can make a copy of it. You can also just write this down in your journal on a piece of paper or in your work notebook if you have one. But we want to make sure if you set goals for the month of May, and it's okay if you didn't, did you hit them? Did you hit them? Did you get close? Did you forget about them after you set them? Just spend a couple of minutes to write down what helped or what got in the way of making those goals happen in your business or your life. And if you have quarterly goals set, we are 2 months into the second quarter. Is that right? Time. If you have quarterly goals set, you might want to check on those right now and see how you're doing on those. And with the time left, is there anything that needs to change to make the goals achievable? So, for the new month, do you have a specific goal for June? It might be a revenue goal or a sales goal. But we want you to know what that is. And then under the new month growth plan, we want you to create a detailed plan for how you're going to reach and serve your top clients this month. So if you don't have a content plan that you're already following, you might want to outline one for the month for yourself here. You may want to give yourself a list of people to reach out to or a number of people to reach out to, depending on your marketing strategy. But the more specific you can be here, the better. So if you're watching this recording later, again, feel free to pause and just take as much time as you need to fill this section out and create a detailed plan for your June marketing. If you want to write all of the posts, or if you want to just outline the posts, give yourself a topic for each post, or just set up a schedule or a rhythm for when and where you're going to post this month. That's how we want you to use this. We want you to make it as easy for yourself later on as you can. So Katrina has 90-day goals that they set that are going to be up in the middle of June. And so they're asking if now's the time to plan the next 90 days or if they should wait until the week when those goals are up already. And really, there's no perfect answer to this. There's no one right answer. It's whatever feels easier or more workable for you. So if you're here now and you want to spend the time now to set the goals for the next 90 days, you absolutely can do that and just kind of restart and reset as of June 1st and have the 90-day goals start today. And if you'd prefer to wait and finish out that completely and then just start mid-June, you can absolutely do that. There's no one right answer, unfortunately. Okay. And if you need to take more time on that, feel free to. I feel like we need more time for that probably. Yeah, if the first feels like a good day to start over, always go for it. Any excuse to reset and start over is always welcome in my book and usually really helpful for most of us. And if you've never set 90-day goals before, maybe that's something that you want to do right now too. Instead of just thinking about June, you could think about what you want your business to accomplish in the next 3 months and then working backwards from there, what has to happen in June to support those 90-day goals being doable and realistic. Yay, and happy Pride, everybody. I keep forgetting that's the thing that's happening. Thanks, Lauren. We're here, we're queer, and we're building successful businesses. Get out of the way. I'll have to watch the video and remember what I said, Lauren. Okay, so if you have your goals ready, great. If not, you can keep working on those. But we also want to think about if there are systems or processes that need an upgrade this month. And you can think about systems that would make hitting the goal easier, or you can think about just starting with like the most obvious thing. Onboarding systems tend to be an easy, obvious place to start if you're not sure what systems you want to work on or what systems you need to work on. Just streamlining onboarding, making that easier for you, making sure your clients are getting all of the information that they need from you right away so they feel confident in the purchase that they made. They feel sure you're a real business, that you're going to take care of them, and that they're going to get something good out of the whole prospect. So, just picking one system that you're going to spend some time on in June that will improve efficiency or smooth out delivery. Okay. And then thinking of your financial goal for the month, how many sales do you need to make this month to hit that goal? If you don't just sell a couple of offers, if you don't have like three specific offers that you're selling, if you don't have like three specific offers that you're selling or one specific offer that you're selling, just knowing that number and thinking about like what would your average product or offer need to cost to make that number feel hittable or easy to achieve. And then are there any areas that you need to review or change this month to ensure profitability? So this really is for people who have a business, and you might need to really do the math on one of your offers and figure out how much it's costing you to deliver or how much you're paying in software fees to provide that service for your clients. How much time does it take you to deliver that service for your clients? Like, what do you need to review to make sure that your profitability is going in the direction you want it to go in June? And if there's one thing that you're going to do to make sure that your offer is profitable this month, we also want you to schedule time on your calendar for that. So instead of just moving on and going to the next question, we want you to pull up your calendar, whether that's a paper planner or a digital calendar that you use. And we want you to schedule time to be working towards the financial goal. You may want to schedule time for marketing activities that you decided were happening in June. You may want to schedule time for the systems that you said you were going to upgrade in June. And we definitely also want you to go schedule time for the profitability steps that you're going to take in June. So there's three things you're scheduling. You're scheduling your marketing tasks, you're scheduling your processes and systems upgrade, and then you're also scheduling your profit audit. Yes. So for the profit audit, we're just picking like one specific offer and we're really deep diving into the math. So you probably want to put like a 2 hour block on your calendar. And in that time, you're going to sit down, you're going to add up all of the tools that you're paying for that help you deliver that offer to your clients. Any software that you pay for, any you can include your website costs here if you want as part of your delivery. Um, but anything that you're paying for that helps you deliver the product or the offer that you're selling to your clients. And then we also want you to add up the amount of time it takes to deliver the offer for your clients and do the math to make sure that what price you're charging, the amount that clients are paying for the offer is more than it's costing you to deliver it. So you would sit down and you would go through the math to figure out if the offer is profitable or not. And if it's not, we would want to change the numbers. We would want to change what you're charging so that you are earning a profit on that offer. Absolutely. You are so welcome. Okay. Do we need more time to put things in the calendar or do we get everything scheduled? Okay. So feel free to finish up scheduling and you can always schedule in more, but we want to make sure that we have time set aside to actually do the work that will move us towards the goals. It's easy to set the goals and then just go about our day to day lives, which are often really busy and full of other little small things that are not necessarily growing the business or moving us in the direction that we want to go. And so making sure that there is time on the calendar for the things that help you reach your goals is super important. Um, if you want a little extra boost in making sure you hit your goals, keeping these goals written down somewhere that you will see them regularly, whether that's like on the monthly page in your planner, or maybe it's just a big post it note on your desk, or maybe you stick it on your fridge and you write like a big dream sequence of what you want to happen by the end of June for all your goals. But keeping these written down somewhere you're going to see them, interact with them regularly, does increase your likelihood of sticking to them and actually achieving them. So, anything that helps, I'm always a big fan of. Anything that makes it easier for you, I fully support. Definitely do that. And on that note, we're going to think about what you can do this month to support the company culture that you want to create, whether that's just for yourself if you're a solopreneur, or for yourself and your employees if you have people that you work with on your team. What expectations do you need to set for everybody? Are there deadlines that people need to know about? Um, are there specific ways you expect certain team members to be contributing towards the goals? Or are there specific ways you expect yourself to be contributing towards the goals? We need to lay these out and make them as clear as possible. We want to like paint the picture of what it's going to look like when it's done and who is responsible for what to get it to that done state. So take a little bit of time and write about that for yourself. And think about how you can support yourself and your team to be successful. Is there a particular obstacle you know that's going to come up for you? Is there an emotional thing you know is going to come up for you? What could we do that would make it a little smoother and a little easier to move through or past that resistance? Okay, so now that you've done some thinking about what you need and how you can support yourself and your team to be successful, we want to make sure you really have the one most important thing that could happen in June that would make it a successful month for your business. So just be double checking here. Make sure that your goals for the month line up with this, like the thing that would make the biggest difference, the thing that would make everything else easier. Is that really what your goal got set around? If not, we may need to change it a little bit. And then make sure you write down any other priorities that support making the one most important thing happen. And sometimes the first time we set our goals, these are the things we wind up setting as the supporting priorities. But we want to make sure that we're clear on what like the biggest most important thing is, and then all the steps that we can take that will actually make the biggest thing most likely to happen. So if the most important goal is hitting a certain revenue number, the other priorities that would support it are probably related to marketing, to networking, to relationships, to reaching out or following up or taking the steps that make that revenue more likely to come in. And then there's space at the bottom of this worksheet to write in what weekly actions need to be taken. So here we want you to break down those priorities that support the big goal week by week for the month of June. And we want you to give yourself top priorities. I say 1 to 3 because anything more than 3 tends to be too much for most people in a week. If you need to do more than that, 5 is your absolute max. This is just like the big picture. I know you're going to do more than 5 things in the week. I know that you're going to get more than one thing done, but we want to be thinking about this as the CEO of our business, as the person in charge of the health of our business and keeping it going. What needs to happen each week to make sure that that goal is achievable? And again, if there's anything coming up on this list that didn't make it into your calendar earlier, you can pull your calendar up again when you finish writing each week and make sure that the time gets booked into your calendar so you will be able to actually do all of these things. Okay. And before we wrap up with the worksheet, we also want you to take some time to think about what the reward is going to be, either for you or you and your team, when you hit your goals this month. When when we take some time to think about the reward, we are building in a little extra motivation. We're also making sure that when we get to the other side of the hard work, that we're going to feel good, which is going to make us feel like we want to do it again. So when we set goals, we want to make sure that we're setting really clear celebrations and rewards for ourselves, because that reward, that celebration, is part of the positive reinforcement that makes that habit attractive, that makes us want to do it again. Like, helps incentivize us to make good choices and work towards our goals and continue improving all the time. So we want to make sure we're making it easy for this to be an ongoing process. Building in a reward helps with that. So you don't have to spend money. This doesn't have to be expensive. This could just be fun or silly. It can involve spending money if you want it to. You want it to be within your budget, if that's the case. But making sure that you have a reward and that you're giving yourself something to look forward to, you're giving your team something to look forward to, and you're giving all of you just like an extra reason to want to do it. Okay, and we are going to end today actually on some trance work. So if you're driving, don't listen to the rest of this video. Please pause this. Um, if you are somewhere that you feel comfortable relaxing, that's great. Otherwise, you can save this and come back to this video later on and do the trance part of this at the end of your workday, potentially. But this will help make it easier to hit your goals. So you're going to want to come back to it at some point because it's really going to be worth doing. So make sure you are in a safe place to relax, and know that I'm going to be doing this monthly. So if you have friends that you think might be interested, or you know other business owners that you think could use having this time happen regularly, as close to the first of the month as we can get it. Although the next one might be happening on the 31st of this month. I will announce it in a couple of weeks. But thanks so much for being here. I'd love to do this with you again. And now we want to make sure you get your body into a position where you're comfortable relaxing. So feel free to turn away from the screen or lay down if that's more comfortable for you than sitting. And again, if you're going to continue listening to this, you are not driving. If you are driving, please turn this off now. So just go ahead and take a nice big deep breath, inhaling deeply and exhaling as slowly as you possibly can. Just lengthening that exhale, making it as long as possible. And becoming aware of the space between your eyes, and allowing your eyes to relax and close if that feels comfortable for you. Noticing the space that your eyes themselves take up. And maybe sensing all the space around your eyes. Noticing the space that is your hands, your arms. Noticing your seat and the space that is your spine and all the space around your spine. And just allowing yourself to relax into the space surrounding your body. Allowing that space to support you and support your body. And then sensing that space that is your whole body. And noticing where the space that is your body connects to the space that is around your body. And I want you to imagine that we've made it to the end of June. And I want you to envision how good it feels to have hit your goals this month. Allowing yourself to visualize what it looks like to follow through with each step that was needed to achieve your goals this month. And just visualizing yourself or your team taking the steps, doing the marketing, landing the clients, hitting the revenue goals. And just allow yourself to notice what it looks like to be in process of working on those goals and to feel how good it feels when you hit them. You might visualize where you are as you put in the work and the time that is required. You might picture the person who's taking the steps, making the sales, or imagine where the new clients are finding you in your work. And you might take a moment to visualize the support that you set up that made it easier to achieve these goals. The things that helped you keep going when things felt challenging or difficult or unsure, and just imagine the supports that helped you keep going. And I want you to imagine how it feels now that you've reached these goals. What does it look like when you're celebrating? Who are you with? Who are you celebrating with in this vision? Knowing there's no wrong answer. And just imagine what it looks like when you celebrate yourself and your team for these accomplishments. Picture more and more money coming into your business bank accounts and watching the numbers go up as the sales come in. Feeling how exciting it is when new clients find you and you get to take more time for yourself and your family and your life. And just know that every time you imagine or rehearse hitting these goals in your mind, you make it just a little bit easier for your brain to do that in real life. You're creating the real neural pathways needed to follow through and take the steps. And just remember anytime you feel discouraged, you can always come back and use this recording again to help you remember how good it feels when you follow through. And bringing some excitement and energetic follow through back into your workday. Just coming back into your body slowly, bringing your awareness back into the room around you, noticing any sounds. And when you're ready, opening your eyes with the inspiration and excitement to get a little more done in your business today. And thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all the time and effort that you're putting into making your dreams happen. And I hope that next month when we meet, you can come tell me that you hit all your goals for this month, or at least that you got close. But I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Monday. And I hope that your June goes better than you just planned. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. Thank you all so much for your time, and I will talk to you all soon.